Hi everyone, this is Miss Maria from the Hemp Hill branch of the Greensboro Public Library. Today we're going to try some circle weaving on an old CD. This one is scratched and can't be played anymore, so we're going to use it as the loom or base of our circle weaving project. And the first thing we need to do is add the warp or the strings that we're going to weave through onto our loom. So I have about 6 feet of yarn. I have my recycled CD, scissors, tape. Let's get started. So let's take one end of our yarn, put it through the hole of your CD and to the back. Whatever the printed side will be the back of your CD and the shiny side will be the front of your project. So I'm going to tape that to hold it snug right here. And then we're going to just start wrapping our yarn around to the front and then to the back. So let's wrap it around the front or the shiny side, then to the back and through the hole again. We're going to pull it pretty tight every time and just keep going back to the back again. And back to the front. With circle weaving, you want to have an odd number of strings, or these are going to look like spokes on a wheel. You want to have an odd number for your weaving to work out right. But the great thing about circle weaving, if you've done straight weaving before, you know that you go over, under, and on the next row you go under, over, so that each row is the opposite of the last one before it. In circle weaving, once you start going over under, you just keep on as you go around and around your weaving. You don't have to change from row to row because you're going in rounds or circles. So we're going to keep doing this until we get an odd number of threads or spokes that look like about the amount we want to try. You can start with as few as maybe 9 or 11 and on up on this size project to maybe 23 or 25. We're going to start with a medium number until we get the hang of this, and then if you try it again you can use a larger number the next time. So just keep pulling, then going back through your hole, keeping it snug every time. I'm using black thread because I like the way it looks on the shiny CD, but you can use white, beige, any color at all for your warp or your base strings. Just keep pulling it pretty tight and going around and back through your hole. I hope that you can see this, but as I'm going around, they're not really evenly spaced right now, but we'll fix that before we start our actual weaving because you can slide them around pretty easily. So let me slide some space these a little bit better. And let me count. The one I'm holding is going to be number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going for 15. So let me do 3 more. There's 13. Got my other end coming through. We don't want that. 14. And 15. All right, let me count them again. The one I'm holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's what I want. So take this to the back. Now we tape that string in the beginning just to make it tight. You can tape this end, or if you would like to, you can tie it to one of the spokes in the back. Just to make it simpler, I'm going to go ahead and tape across several. And that way I know that it's snug and it's not going to come loose. Then I can trim off the extra. and get rid of that. So that's the back with it taped in 2 places. That's the front with our 15 spokes spread around evenly. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So that's how you start this circle weaving project on a recycled CD. Okay, now that we have our CD loom ready, let's start our weaving. I'm using a plastic yarn needle. You can tape one end of your yarn to make it easier to weave back and forth, whatever you like. So, I'm going to pull from the back to the front through the center hole. And I'm going to tape this end down, just like we did the warp on the back, to keep it secure. Then our yarn is through the front with our needle or our taped end, and we're going to just start weaving. So, just like you would do a straight weaving, we're going to do our over-under pattern. So over this one, under this one, over, under, over, under, pull it through, snugly but not so tightly, and slide it toward the center with your fingers or a plastic fork. Now, the beauty of circle weaving is you don't have to remember which row is over under and which row is under over, because as you go around, you just continue the same pattern in your circle. Because you're making rounds instead of straight rows. So let's keep going. Just double check the last one that you were on. That one was an under, so the next one is over. And just keep going around your circle. I hope you can see this on camera. But as we pull it through and slide it toward the center, it's going to make sort of a spiral around our CD. And we're going to keep an eye on our warp spokes or strings to keep them fairly evenly spaced. And just keep going. So we went under, now we're going over, under, and keep going around and around. And each round will be on top of the last one, and it will automatically have the right pattern, as long as you keep an eye on it as you're going. And sliding toward the middle each time. So I will finish this color and be back in just a second to show you how to add a new color. Okay, so I have almost come to the end of my blue yarn. See, I've got just a few inches left. So I'm going to take my needle off for the moment, and I'm going to tie on my next color, which is white in this case. So just hold those two together and make a simple knot. Pull it pretty snugly. Put the needle back on the end of your new piece of yarn and keep continuing in the same pattern of over and under. And we'll hide that knot as we go along. So let me show you that. So back to where we were. We went under, so we're going to go over and under, over and under. Pull it snugly. Just pop that knot under your warp threads. It might take a little bit of a tug. Keep going. So there we're under. Now over, under, over, under. keep pulling. Over, under, over, under. Okay, keep pulling through. We're getting closer to our knot, but keep popping it under your warp threads. We'll do a couple more and then I'll show you what's next. So over, under, over, under. Now, what I do once the yarn where my knot is has been woven, I just take the tip of my scissors and push it underneath the weaving that I've already done. So those pieces don't show, and then I keep weaving along. And as your weaving gets snug around that area, you'll see the knot even less. So over, under, a few more. And pull. Now you can't see where that knot was much, and we'll keep going to hide it even more. Do a few more over, unders. Now, as you're planning your weaving project, you can choose the colors that you like. You can choose holiday colors if you would like to make an ornament out of this. Push that thread a little bit more. Or you can choose colors that you like and hang it up all year round as a sun catcher. Whatever you prefer. You're going to continue this same pattern of tying your yarn on, hiding the little knot underneath the edge. Keep pushing it down with scissors or the tip of your needle until you don't see it. And keep weaving the same way. When you get to maybe a ½ inch from the edge of your CD, I would stop because I like to have that shiny edge. And then you will, at that point, you will tie the very end of your yarn to one of those weaving spokes or warp spokes and cut off the excess.